Hello there. Just wanted to share with you what I'm making for dinner this evening. So I have some mushrooms here that I have already washed and sliced. And I have some grape tomatoes and some red onions. And I'm making pasta with mushrooms and tomatoes. So I already have my onions that are sauteing. I'm actually caramelizing them. And I'm about to add the mushrooms to the pot. So let me have a look at the onions and see how they're doing. Okay, so my onions are here. They are ready. They've been sauteing for maybe about maybe 10-15 minutes. I'm not sure how long, but I wanted to get that nice golden brown color that you see here on my onions, and they're ready for me to add the mushrooms. I like to do this with my onions cooked two different ways. So I have this batch that I am caramelizing first. I'll add the mushrooms on top, and then I'll also add my other fresh onions that I have cut separately with the tomatoes and let that all cook down together. I'll be back. Okay, so I have added my mushrooms to my pot. I put them on top of my onions. I'm going to now add my other onions, my raw onions that are cut separately, and my tomatoes, and cover this and let this all cook down. I'll be back. All right, so I have added my onions and my tomatoes on top of my mushrooms, as you can see. I also have some black pepper, and I put some salt, a small amount of salt on top. I salted my onions that were on the bottom of the pot, the onions that I sauteed and caramelized before. So I salted them, and then I lightly salted the mushrooms and the onions and the tomatoes that are on top, very lightly. So that way everything is being seasoned as it's being cooked. And I am not going to add any salt to my water for the pasta. So whatever salt I've already added to the mushrooms and these vegetables will be enough to season the entire dish. So I'm going to let this cook down, and we'll come back and have a check in a little while. Okay, it's been about maybe 15 minutes or so. And so I'm just giving this a stir to incorporate all of my onions and tomatoes into the liquid. And by the way, this liquid that you see, I did not add any water. See all that? I did not add any water to this. That is the water that sprang from the mushrooms. And that's it. Whatever liquid was in the mushrooms from me washing them, and whatever water they retained after I washed them. And, you know, of course, whatever liquid was also in the tomatoes. That's it. There is no additional water added to this. So I'm just getting everything covered, making sure everything is covered by my broth. And I actually want this broth to help make my sauce for my pasta. It's not really going to be a sauce, but just enough liquid for me to be able to toss the pasta and coat the pasta with the flavor of the mushrooms. So I'm going to let this cook down for like another 10 minutes or so. And again, I do want to retain some of this liquid, this nice broth that I have. I do want to maintain some of this for when I add the pasta. I'll add a little bit of the pasta water if I need to, but I want to retain as much of this broth from the mushrooms and the flavor that will be added to my pasta from this broth. I want to keep as much of that as possible. So I'll let this cook covered for another 10 minutes or so, and then I'll add my pasta. I have my water already boiling for the pasta, and I'll add the pasta right after I check it the last time in a few minutes, because I'm only going to cook the pasta for about maybe 5-6 minutes and then combine the two. All right, I'll be back. Doesn't that look good? Smells great too. Okay. Okay, we're back. And so now this has been cooking for about 20 minutes actually. I let it cook a little longer than what I wanted it to because I was working on some other stuff. So now I have lost a good amount of my liquid. You see how it's not as much liquid left behind as we had earlier. Of course, that had to be cooked down in order to get this beautiful, rich, and delicious coating that you see on the mushrooms. So I did lose some of my liquid. So I did save some of the water from the pasta. And I'm going to add the pasta in and then add some of the pasta water as needed as I'm coating the pasta with the mushrooms and the sauce here. Okay, I'll be back. Oh, and here's my pasta. And that's been cooked and drained. And I just drained it about 5 minutes ago. And I'm going to now add that into my mushrooms and tomatoes. So I have added my pasta and coated the pasta with the mushrooms. So it's not, there isn't as much liquid as I would like it to be. So I will now add some of the pasta water. I have not done that yet. I wanted to just get a nice coating first. And I want to be careful. I'm starting to break up some of my noodles here. So I don't want that to happen. So I want to be gentle as I'm tossing the noodles. But I am now going to add a small amount, maybe this spoon size, maybe 2 of these spoon size. It's a large spoon. I'm probably going to add about 2 spoonfuls, this spoon of water, the pasta water, and I'm going to add probably 2 tablespoons of olive oil as well and let that simmer for a little while. I'll be back. Okay, so I have added some of the pasta water, some olive oil, added a little bit more salt and black pepper, tossed it a little too much. As you can see, my noodles have broken. They've started to split apart, break apart a little bit here. So just a reminder to make sure your noodles are still nice and firm before you add them to whatever you're going to be tossing them in. I think mine were a little bit too soft, just a tad bit too soft, and then I was a little aggressive with my toss-in. So that's it. I'm going to plate and enjoy my meal. Be back in a moment. Okay, so this is the finished product. This is my pasta with mushrooms and tomatoes. And as you can see, my mushrooms are beautiful. They have a nice dark brown color to them. They are richly coated in that nice broth that I made. The tomatoes have been cooked down a little bit more than what I'd like, but that's okay. And my pasta also is a little overcooked, but that's okay too. Just what happens sometimes with a home cooked meal. But I am going to sit and enjoy this meal. I hope that you will take the time to try to recreate this for yourself. Maybe put your own twist on it. Leave me a comment if you do end up making this and let me know how it turns out for you. Thanks for joining me and see you soon. Delicious. Can't wait to eat it. Thanks for joining me for making dinner. Bye-bye.